Hello everyone, I'm Paul, and today I'm going to have a little bit of a rant. What's happened here is that my third function valve isn't working properly, and it's a Landpride product. So I just wanted to make note that I use a grapple here on the front, and I use it almost daily. So my big issue is that I need that working all the time. Now what's happened is that the controller here, when I go to press the button, I can open the grapple no problem, but I can't close it. The other thing here is I want to show you in the back, I have a Landpride quick attach and a Landpride box blade on the back here. So I really like Landpride products, and this is not a video about whether you should buy or not buy Landpride products. I think they're really good for the most part. They have a wide variety of attachments and implements. So anyways, I'm not going to tell you exactly what's got me so fired up until a little bit later. We're going to go through here and we're going to diagnose basically what the problem is. As I mentioned, when I press the button here to go on the controller to close the grapple, it basically doesn't work, or it works very intermittently. So very first thing is I went on the other side where the valve is, and where the valve is, I checked to make sure the connectors are nice and tight. Next to that, I had taken my multimeter and I tested the voltage at the meter, or sorry, the voltage at the connector, to see whether I was getting the 12 volts or not. And in both cases, on each connector, basically I was getting a nice solid 12 volts when I was checking the upper one, and for the lower one I was getting an intermittent 12 volts. Basically, in order to check for the voltage, you have to press the button and have it on the meter at the same time. So the next thing that basically tells me that it's not the solenoid, and that was my biggest concern, that it would be the solenoid on the valve itself. So it's not one of the solenoids. So the next thing that I did is, you can see here there's a wire harness. The wire harness goes down and it goes all the way to where, on the other side, to where the God, I lost words here, guys. I'm a little bit peeved, and I think that's why. It down by where the block for the solenoid is for the valve. So I checked the wire, I traced it all the way back, and make sure there's no kinks, any breaks in the wire, everything looks fine. So the next thing to do is to take apart this here, and you can, there's basically 3 Phillips screws. I've already got them all loose, so I can just show you quicker, save a little bit of video time. And make sure you stay tuned till the end, because I'm going to tell you what's really gotten me fired up, and I'm not going to let this go. So the reason why I don't want to let it go is because you pay a lot of money for these things, and you do expect them to work, and it's not so much that it's not working that's bothering me. There's something much more to that than what's bothering me. So we're taking this off here. So I know my wires are good. I know at the ends it's good. So the next thing you can do is I've got a wire tester, so I can check to make sure that we have voltage. So you can see there's a red one on the top for the upper button, and you can see my light is, put my hand out of the way, you can see the light's coming on. So we know we got 12 volts coming for the top button, and then we can check the bottom button. We're going to check, and you can see you got 12 volts there. So the voltage coming from the battery is not an issue. So if you don't have the wire tester that lights up to see that you got the voltage coming through for your power, you can use your meter. You just put it to the connector, hold it in there, and then you just ground it to a bolt. In this case here, I got a bolt there, and you can see I have 12.58 volts. The other thing you can do to make sure that it's the button that is the problem and that it's not the solenoid, you can just take your top button out and change it with the bottom button. And if your bottom button all of a sudden is not working, well, then you know that that's the problem, or vice versa. Hopefully that helps, guys. Okay guys, now I've got the wires disconnected at the battery. Just going to double check to make sure I got no voltage. I put it on the positive, wire here, the red wire, power wire, and it's not lighting up. And the same thing, we'll just take this out here so I can get in at the bottom one a little easier. And you can see at the bottom one, there's nothing there. So we want to work on it with no power. We don't want anything shorting out. So the first thing I'm going to let you know what kind of, when I got in here, now I can see what kind of really bugs me right now, just for the start, is that you can see how much metal there is here. There's no sheathing on this here whatsoever. So if this wire actually popped off, and because there's a lot of vibration on the tractor and it starts dangling down there, it's going to short one of these buttons out. Could be shorting out one that's not working, or sorry, one that's working. So that's the first thing that's got me going, fired up. Now that's not the big thing that's fired me up. We'll let you know soon. So anyways, what I want to do here is I want to take the wires off, and what I want to do is I want to fix this here. Basically, I want to put a piece of shrink wrap or shrink tubing on here, because I don't like that much wire exposed, or sorry, that much of metal exposed there, these connectors. I really don't like that. I don't understand why they did it like that. So we're just going to put this here for now, and we're going to heat them up and shrink them after. Get these guys on there. So now you can, another way to test for the button is basically the button. I'm just going to push it out. All you have to do is take a little tool here and just push on the button, and you can see it just comes straight out. Now there's a little button. It's just a momentary switch. So basically you press on it, it closes the circuit so the current can flow through, and that basically keeps it working, or opens or closes the grapple. So the next thing to do, you can do, is for checking this here, is you can check the continuity. I'll just set my meter here for continuity, and I'll check the sound. Now it's a little bit hard to hold here. Actually, I should hold it without the plier. So all I have to do is just check to make sure I have continuity. You're going to hear a beep. Now when I put these two here together, whoop, that's not good. So when I put this here together, I should not hear any beep because I'm not pressing the button. So there's making contact and there's no noise. So now I'm going to squeeze the button down, and we'll do the same, and we'll check for continuity. And in my case, there's nothing happening there, so that button is bad. And this is the one that's not working. So I've got the new button here in my pocket. This is the packaging that it came in, so just a little bag. The part number, you can see there. I'll kind of just show you the part number. Hopefully you can see that. So I'm just going to open it up, and we're going to test it for continuity before I even put it in. We'll do the same thing here. Make sure we have some sound. We've still got the sound. Put it there. I'm going to squeeze the button. Actually, I'll squeeze the button here first. A little hard to hold with one hand here. You can hear it beeping. It's so I know I've got a good button right out of the package. So now the one important thing is when you put this back in, that there's a flat spot. It's very hard to see, but on one side there's going to be a flat spot, and I don't know if you can see in here or not, but you can see that's not a perfect circle. It has like a straight edge on this one side here where I have the pliers. So you have to make sure you line the flat spot up with the straight edge, and it's hard to actually see the flat spot on here. One side's rounded and one side's not so rounded, and hopefully I've got it right. So I'm just going to slip it in, and if it doesn't work on the one side, then you know you got it on the wrong side. So there, I've got it on the right side, so that's good. So I know now I've got a good button. The old button was no more good. So the next thing I'm going to do is just going to shrink these down here so I can feel a little more comfortable when if the wire ever did fall off. So we'll just use the heat gun quickly. The same thing for the other one. Just trying to adjust it to where I need it. I really don't know why they didn't do this. So the next thing they do is obviously just reconnect the wires from where they came off. The green one was on this side. Just slip it on there, and the other one here, the red, the power wire, we'll just slip it on there, and then now we're good for go. So we just want to test this here. So what I got to do is I got to put the battery back on, or cable back on. We'll go up here to the front. So I'm just going to slip it on. Just trying to get the nut on. It's pretty small. It's just a little 10 millimeter nut to hold on the battery here. Holy smokes. It doesn't want to go on, guys. Okay, I just put it loose. I don't need to have it that tight. I'm going to start the tractor. I'm going to raise the All right, guys, we can see that works all nice and fine. So the next thing to do is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bottom ones off, and I'm going to put the shrink wrap around, and then I'm going to close all this up. All it is taking the cover, slip the cover back on, tighten 3 screws, and we're all good. So anyways, guys, it brings me to the point. What's really got me fired up? Well, it's this little guy here. This little thing here, this little button, this really got me fired up when I went to get this at the dealer. Take a look at that little guy. That's nothing. It's a little molded button with a couple prongs sticking out. Guess how much that the dealer charged for this? Now, I'm not blaming the dealer for this. This is Landpride and Kubota. Kubota basically owns Landpride. And I don't know specifically who sets the prices, but I'm sure not happy about it. Well, I'm going to show you what it is. Take a look, guys. $58 Canadian. $7 tax. $66.40 for a plastic button with a couple metal prongs. Are you kidding me, Landpride? Like, seriously? I'm not happy about that. I really like your equipment, but if you're going to sell me stuff that's I pay a lot of money for, and it breaks and I have to fix it or get the dealer to fix it, and you're going to charge me that kind of money for parts like this, I'll be looking elsewhere for the next time I go to buy a Landpride product. Not happy, guys. You can tell. Just not happy. I'm not happy about the way it's wired in here, and I'm not happy about how much this costs. That should never be such an expense to me. So why did I buy it? Well, I bought it because I like to put OEM parts back whenever they need to be replaced. That's the first reason. The second reason is that I need to get my tractor up and running again with the grapple on it. I need it like tomorrow. So I looked online. You can go online, and I'll put a few part numbers up. You can go online and you can find a button very similar to this. Or button, I call them the button, is the switch, momentary switch. On the bottom it says auto 21649, and you can find some. But what I noticed when I looked online, a few things. Amazon, which I don't like to buy from, it was about 10 days before I can get one. There are other companies, most of them are from the States in the US, so it would take time for it to get delivered here. Some of them are, I know in the US, some dealers, I think they're charging like $40 for these. Also online, I think they were running about 12 to 25 bucks, let's just say argumentatively. That's basically what these buttons are running for. The only thing is, the one guy I know that got one, he said the prongs were a bit shorter, so he had to solder when he put it back in. I don't want to have to fool around like that. I want it to plug and play and just go with it. So as I mentioned, guys, just not happy about that. I just wanted to make this so people are aware out there of this. I'm not telling you not to buy Landpride. They do make good equipment. They shouldn't have surprises like this. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, guys, I think basically all I have to do is close this up here. I hope you enjoyed my rant to some degree. I need to get that off my chest. This is going to get posted up in my garage. Every time I look at it, it's going to remind me that I'm not going to be looking at Landpride in the future, unless it's something like the box blade where, you know, something breaks. It's just a matter of welding it. So no more electronic parts or no more surprises like this. I don't like stuff like that. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, if you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, you can do so by hitting that subscription button down below. Once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Gelling Outdoors.